Welcome back to your girl's favorite podcast. This episode, we're going to be talking about the survival guide in the LGBTQ plus community, failed dates, queer stereotypes, Chronicles. Blake, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Okay. So, this or that. Are you ready? Docs or Birkenstocks?
Docs.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
City life or countryside?
You're answering like you're about to go to prison.
It's very tough questions. They're really tough. I don't like quizzes. It makes me nervous. City. I need people.
Okay. Road trip or road ahead?
Oh, that's so hard. Going on the road trip, getting head.
You can't have both.
Okay, roadhead.
Funny. Being walked in on or walking in on someone?
Both can be funny. Walking on me. Fuck it.
Walk in on
Yeah.
you?
Like
Get a free show. Strip tease or dirty talk?
Damn. Dirty talk.
Dominant or submissive?
Both.
Switch.
Yeah, switch for sure. I can't pick that one.
What was that reaction?
Both.
Catch some waves after this.
It's gnarly, dude. Always sing off tune or always dance off beat?
Off tune, because the way you dance is the way you fuck. So I'm gonna go with tune.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a real thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to say
right?
this
It's a rhythm
right
thing.
now. I hope that the way I dance is certainly not the way I
You
dance.
dance
It's a
hot. What do
real
you
thing,
mean?
Because
Have
like
you
they
seen-
say, if you don't have like rhythm and you
Then
can't
you can't
dance,
fuck.
then
Two
you don't know
left
how to
feet.
fuck.
I need to say something. I certainly think that I'm good in bed, and I cannot dance.
I think you can dance.
No,
Really?
there's a difference between dancing and having rhythm. I think you have
All right,
rhythm.
guys, last question.
Yes.
Mullet or undercut?
Fuck. I had both. Well, I had a mullet because I have one.
Because you
right
have
now.
one now.
But I had an undercut. Yeah. Damn. Mullet for sure.
That's funny. So this episode, we're just gonna do a little Dear Men segment. I'm just gonna open it up. We're gonna be in a circle. Hannah, I would like for you to share with the class. What do you wish as a queer person what do you wish men knew?
Everything.
Dear men, you're not invited. You're not included in an immediate threesome. I'm like, oh God, about to go on a tangent. Yeah, dear men, you're not included.
That's good.
Yeah.
Dear men, be respectful.
Yeah.
Blake?
Do you feel like a lot of times men have this rite of passage where they think, oh, two girls want to fuck each other, that means they want to fuck me together? Like, why is that?
Like,
if
ego's so
two
fucking high.
people wanna
It's like a
fuck,
fantasy.
That doesn't mean you're included in that mix.
That
Yeah.
part.
It's
How
a fantasy for them, I
Yeah.
feel, and
Yeah.
it's not okay to just like.
You know what I think a
Assume.
big one is too is not as much now, obviously, since I think I very much seem presenting as a lesbian dyke. But when I was more feminine and I had a girlfriend at the time, they'd be like, "Hey, why don't you kiss for us?" Or
Right.
if you
Yeah.
kiss in front of everyone, like it'll be so hot. And I'm like, I don't ask you to kiss your boy. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, respect boundaries
Respect boundaries.
for sure.
What do you wish, Alyssa?
Oh my.
Mhm.
I wrote a whole list.
Dear
I
men,
won't. Oh, I turned my phone off. Fuck. Okay.
you got.
I had to turn
You
it
had
off.
this memorized,
Blake
buddy.
told
You
me to
got
turn it
this.
off
I
because there
did.
was things happening on there.
Too many things.
Okay, I wrote a whole list, but I guess I'll pick my favorite one. Dear men, I wish that you knew that just because I'm a lesbian doesn't mean I'm necessarily a man hater. If it were up to me, I would love to be able to be with men. Being gay is not a choice. Trust me, if it was, my life would be a lot easier. There are girls that want to burn my house down when I could be getting free drinks and a free place to live with a very successful businessman who doesn't think too much and
That's
who just
right.
lets me live.
Yeah.
So believe me, there's nothing in the world like making love to a woman or being inside of a woman, and no amount of dick will ever change that.
No
If I
amount
could
of-
change my mind, I would have.
I think one of the
That's a
biggest-
good one.
That's a
another
really
one
good
too. I'm adding in one more.
Okay.
Dear men, it's not that we haven't found the right man. It's that I prefer a strap over that.
Facts.
Yeah, and a strap.
At least we can get different sizes.
I've had so many men be like, "Oh, but like, so like, what do you get out of that? You know, like you're using a dick, so why not just have the real thing?" I'm like, but I've said this before, and I'll say it again: a strap doesn't have bouncing tits. A strap doesn't have feminine moans.
Or a
strap,
body.
or I'm sorry, a real dick does. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I said that
No,
wrong.
you're good, you're
A
good.
real dick doesn't have bouncing tits. A real dick doesn't have feminine moans.
Right.
A real dick doesn't leave the scent of her sapphic perfume on my
Aw,
pillow.
that was
Right.
cute.
A
Wow.
real dick is a real dick on a man,
Right.
and a dick on a girl is fucking hot. It doesn't
Right.
mean we
Facts.
want dick. Yeah.
That's all.
Add on, piggyback off of that a little bit.
What's your dear
Also,
men?
like the dick situation, it's to please the women. Like it's not for us to feel anything. It's literally.
I mean,
strictly
I feel
for the-
things when I strap.
Well, yeah. No. Of course, you feel like
I-
empowerment and stuff, but
yeah.
it's like mainly like pleasing the woman. Like
Yeah.
you know, if they want penetration.
Yeah, if they like it. Uh-huh.
For me, dear men, no means no. It just means fucking no.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like point period blank. It just means no. Don't ask me fucking questions.
Oh, we don't want to answer all these lesbian
I don't want to.
questions.
Yeah, I don't want to answer them. I
Unless
haven't
you're
had
subscribing
dick
to the
period,
podcast.
so it's not about having the right one or the wrong one.
Gold star baby.
Yeah, gold star. Yeah, to the core of me. But yeah, just no means no, and just be respectful and have boundaries. You know,
Yeah.
respect them.
Kinsey, do you have a dear men?
Yeah. If you want to support any part of LGBTQ community, actually support, go to Pride, go and like celebrate people who just came out, go and like be part of the celebration, because that's like, I don't know, it's all about love,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Just
And not
like-
make other people uncomfortable.
What?
Sorry. If you want to celebrate LGBTQ community, go to Pride. I love it. They should go to
Yeah,
Pride.
they should.
Or they should,
Just educate themselves too.
yeah. But also, don't come to Pride. Maybe
If you're a hater, don't come to Pride.
if you're
Yeah.
gonna be
but
a
if you're a
creep,
supporter,
if you're
show your
supportive,
support.
yeah,
Yes,
be an
that's what I-
ally, be a
yeah, yeah.
lovely ally.
Yeah.
But
No,
also, if you're gonna
that's
come and be a
yeah.
creep, please stay the hell away from Pride.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, I want to get into our topics that we're going to start off with today. So as queers, our sex life, what is technically sex? What is really fingers, strap? What do you define as sex?
I think this is gonna go into the whole topic of
I
what
love this topic.
what a body is, what a body isn't,
It's not a
right?
body.
So I want to ask each and every one of you, but
Yeah, so I think, take it a step back. There's always this idea from straight people, at least not always. Okay, rephrase. Not always, but a lot of straight people have said that what lesbians deem or do as sex doesn't count. Well, why is that? Because I'm not being penetrated all the time. I've heard from a lot of straight women that they don't want to be penetrated all the time. So, to go into that, what I deem as sex is just kind of having a good time. If we both get off, great. If one of us gets off, that's perfect too. I think the whole thing is that brings in why sex with women can go so long.
yeah.
And it's because we can use toys for a little bit and then we don't have to use toys, or we can take breaks and have fun and talk, and there's this whole level of intimacy throughout it and safety. And I think that also brings up when you're with women loving women communities, when you're about to have sex, you immediately feel safe. You feel like you can bring in a strap and it's hot. And if they don't want a strap, then you don't need to. But there's just this room for, I feel like, all these things. It's not just deemed to one specific,
Yeah.
you know? And sex is really fun. You know, you can go until the sun's up, which is the gayest thing that we have all done. Sometimes you're taking breaks to look at each other and say the gayest things that you've ever said on a first date.
A poem.
A poem, write a haiku for them mid-sex. Yeah.
Wait for a sec. Let me just write.
Let me just write down. Why is that
Absolutely.
something you would do?
I would
You
be
write a
like
poem.
mid-sex, like, Hold on one sec. Like
She's
I
like-
have a lyric. Hold on.
She's like edging on
Yeah.
purpose
Yeah.
just to write
so-
the best
yeah.
poem.
Yeah. That's
What's
funny as
what
fuck.
is yeah? Do you
Yeah,
use
so-
toys always?
I mean, I agree with you. I think that's what's so unique about lesbian or queer sex is like there's endless possibilities. Where I mean, I guess there's endless possibilities in no matter what type of sexual orientation you identify as. But with lesbians and women loving women, there's so many ways to orgasm. There's not just like one. You know, you get off, you jizz on something, and then that's it. There's no, that's it's we're kind of women are superheroes in a way. Like we have superpowers. We can come from the inside, we can come from the outside, we can come from other things. And I mean, I energetically come when I'm not even being touched sometimes.
Yeah,
that's a thing that I feel like not a lot of men might know. Like they think that sex for a woman is only like receiving some sort of pleasure that is brought on by touch, but I don't think they're all understanding like in a lot of lesbian sex you can fully get off by just being inside of a woman with your fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm being really specific
That's
in
a
detail.
real thing. Yeah.
Like I have truly experienced like I still remember the first time I ever felt that. I was like, whoa, I'm gayer than I thought. Like I knew I was gay, but I was like,
For
this
sure
shit is gay because I'm not even being stimulated and I am getting off over here just
Yeah.
by hearing her sounds and like seeing her get off.
And
like
feeling her
there's
pleasure.
crazy
and-
connection there. It's like energetic, it's spiritual in a way.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you can also. I mean, the level of intimacy, right? But then all of the things that you can do.
Yeah.
Yes, I think, of course, in a straight relationship, you can probably do that too.
Yeah.
But I only think in the queer mindset of mine, and with sex, you can use vibrators if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to sometimes, or maybe one of you only wants to get off, or it's all about dirty talk and it's just about being really sexual and
And it's interesting too, like what counts as sex, right? Because I've waken up in the morning and I've been like, I just had the best sex of my life last night and I didn't even get touched. Like I didn't even take
Yeah.
my clothes off. Like,
Yeah.
and I was over here like having the best
intimacy.
sex ever with her because I was feeling her energetic stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's so much just counts as like in lesbian world. It's like, well, there's all sorts of sex you can have.
Yeah.
Totally, because what sex really is not just being penetrated. Why is it? First off, does the girl always want to be penetrated?
No.
No.
I don't like
I
penetration
know.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like that's not always fun.
No.
I don't
Nobody
even like
wants
toys.
that consistently.
Like, let me
Ugh.
lick your butt.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's sex. Is it? Does it count as a body? No.
Doesn't count as a body.
But I don't know. We can have
Well,
that
our-
debate again. That's like the long
yeah,
debate.
The way we think is a little
Butt
different.
licking is not a body.
Butt licking is not a body? Okay.
It's just a butt lick.
Sorry,
but-
a butt
but-
licker. Is that why?
You lit.
I
yeah,
mean,
lick it.
Yeah.
Which of us have licked a butt?
That's funny.
I've licked a butt.
Um,
You've
Lindsay's
never?
licked a butt.
I've licked a
You've-
butt once.
Please
yeah.
tell me you've licked a butt,
Once.
Blake.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just
gonna
not
say
my
you can lick my butt.
It's not
like
my
just so
thing.
you can get that out of the
Yeah.
way.
Next
My thing is
episode,
just not
we
my thing.
have.
Okay.
My butt too.
She's
I
like,
don't
"No, I'm
like
good
it
on
being
that."
licked that
Blake.
much.
What do you consider sex?
What do I consider sex? Such a difficult fucking question. I guess if you come, it's sex. In my book. But
One person
a lot
coming
of
or both?
both. So
Okay.
like
Oh.
if I'm,
Interesting.
I guess it's I don't know. I recently changed the way I think.
So you're like 69ing and you don't get off and you're like, that wasn't sex.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
play.
Really?
It's not a body.
It's not a body.
Foreplay.
Yeah, like for example,
Hmm.
like we had this discussion before, but like in terms of like, so if I'm fucking somebody,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting fucked, that's not sex to
On the
me.
body
I'm,
count list.
I'm pleasing you. That's totally fine. Like
Interesting.
I'm cool with that. Like, but like I wouldn't consider that sex. I would consider like two people coming together and enjoying that like fucking intimacy moment. That would be sex, I guess. That like
So it's more about the intimacy.
it's
for
more
you.
about the
Totally.
intimacy. Yeah, because
The
I don't sexualize the
vulnerability.
body, so it's like really hard for me to.
Cute.
Yeah. You're like intellectually
Yeah,
stimulated.
yeah, yeah. Like I want to like fall in love with your mind and like and all this stuff, and then it goes.
So that's
I'm
sex.
so
to
gay,
you.
I know.
So there's another type of sex, men, for you to listen to. It's
Dear men,
intellectual
take notes.
sex. Yeah. Like
deadass.
Blake wants to fall in love and have emotions, and that's sex.
Well,
for
is
you.
it that's called demisexual, right? Like I can't really, like that's
Emotional
I
connection
need to have that emotional
is so
connection,
raw.
and
Yeah.
that's sex to me.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
hear you.
yeah,
Have y'all ever scissored?
Yes.
yes.
Do you like it?
Okay.
Wait, give me a story.
Yeah, I have scissored, and I think it's the one thing that has to be so
The way she said
I have.
I have scissored.
fuck you. It has to be so situational, and it's very much about the way your body's like the movement
It's
and
all
the way
about
your
the
body
angles.
the way your body like connects with the other individual. I
Yeah.
mean,
Gotta hit the right spot.
there's times where I've been doing it and I'm like, ouch, that hurt. And there's times where I'm like, okay, I get it. But I feel like the whole moment where you start to scissor and you have to get into that position is the best part of it, honestly. It's
It's very
hilarious.
funny.
Just picture the time where
Yeah.
you did that, and I mean, your leg is wrapped around
Yeah.
theirs.
Yeah.
They're like, is it good? Does that feel good? And then the whole time you're just kind of like, and then
It's just
sometimes
bones
it
hitting
is,
each other.
sometimes it's not.
Yeah, it's hit or miss with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, what was your experience
Well,
with
so
scissoring?
I hear when lesbians are like debunking lesbian things, a lot of them will be like, scissoring's not a thing, right? Like I hear that a lot.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that a lot, but I personally,
I
big fan.
A huge fan.
It's just
Alyssa's
so
doing
hot
it
to
all
me.
the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like I love the granted. Okay, so I think just like cuddling, right? Sometimes some people feel right and others don't. Like sometimes you just
Totally.
fit well with
Yeah,
another person, like puzzle piece. And if you are fitting well with that person energetically or chemistry wise or whatever, or just body wise, like if you're with the right person, like that scissoring shit can be really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I like it.
I have had some of the best sex of my life just scissoring because we both are coming together. But
Yeah.
granted, there was nothing awkward about that situation for me. So I think it just depends on like the dynamic of the relationship.
No, not that it's awkward. I think it's funny. Like when you finally
is
get
funny.
into that,
Yeah.
like,
It is funny,
you
yeah.
know, where you're like
Yeah.
this.
You know, when you're like,
It takes
Come
a
on
second. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
no, it is.
sometimes you are like almost sitting upright.
Has it ever happened so like, okay, yes, there's
Yeah.
moments where you're like, all right, we should scissor now. That's
Yeah.
like a little like, how do we fit in? But like there has been a few moments I can recall where like I didn't even realize we were about to scissor and then we were.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like it was like we just organically like ended up in like
Intertwined.
and then suddenly we were just like riding each other and
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, we just came together.
Yeah.
That shit. And if you're with another
That's hot.
squirter, not to like get super detailed, but if you're with another squirter, that shit is gnarly. Cause you're just like, and
My
you're just like
gosh.
together.
That
Oh
bedroom
my
is
gosh.
just an
You'll,
absolute,
say I'm
it's
one
a
of-
waterfall
Not
in
to
there.
be, I've not to put all my shit out there,
I
but
love
Alyssa's like, Niagara Falls is my favorite
Yeah.
place.
it is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a lot
It's
of
thing.
laundry
It's
to do the next day.
And it feels so equal. I think that's what's so fun is I think sometimes there's like a power struggle, right? Or like not a struggle because it's hot, but like sometimes there's a top or sometimes there's a bottom.
Yeah.
There's always someone dominating or someone submitting. When you're scissoring correctly, when it's happening organically, you're both just fucking
It's
each
into
other.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I like the
There's
skin on
no,
skin
there's no,
Skin on skin.
it's just
Yeah, that's what it is.
balanced fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
with squirt.
I'll do a scissoring tutorial one day. If my
On your
career fails,
YouTube
I just start an OnlyFans. I'm like, hey, this is how you scissor.
No, dead ass.
101.
A big fan. Big
No,
fan.
I'm a big fan too. I wouldn't say I do it on a daily basis, but like when it happens organically, like you said, I like it. I like the skin on skin. I feel like I'm getting closer with that person.
Yeah.
It's very, very intimate. And I do get off on it. It's a lie. But then I get off like without even
Go,
touching
Blake.
people. So
Yeah.
it's like whatever.
Yeah, I like
love
that
it.
too. It
Yeah.
just
Depends.
Yeah,
Depends
but
on the
so
person.
long.
It does hurt though, because sometimes it's bone on bone and that shit
Sometimes.
fucking hurts.
sometimes when the bone
It hurts. But that's when it's not happening organically.
when
You know
the
what I
yeah,
mean?
no.
Yeah.
You
The
know when
right
the
angles
bone
need
just
to
force
happen.
just strikes you just right, and
Yeah.
you're like, I gotta.
I
not
think
pleasant.
a lot of lesbians try to scissor the way they see it in porn made for straight men. And that's not the way that you can look up on Pornhub, like tribbing, I think is what they call it. Like,
Oh.
isn't that the term? Or
I
am I
don't
saying
know.
that
I don't know.
wrong?
I don't watch porn.
Well, there's a term that always comes up on lesbian porn, tribbing, and it's always them scissoring. So I'm like, is this another
Weird.
term? We'll have to figure that out. I
Interesting.
could be
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think a lot of lesbians try to imitate a hot way to do scissoring when that's not really how it works.
like the overly
yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, like trying to
fucking-
like
yeah.
no, just
let it happen.
there's a way to do it where you're truly fucking the shit out of
Well,
each
that's
other.
Yeah.
the whole thing about how sex. That's another thing, but sex is not supposed to be this
Performance.
beautiful performance. Like it's supposed to be fun, exciting, dirty, all the
Sloppy,
things.
right.
Yeah.
Like there are angles that you're gonna see yourself at during sex that they are
Like,
not
whoa.
flattering. Oh my god, they feel the best.
Have you ever filmed yourself and then you watch it back and you're like,
Ooh, yeah.
that you like that? I certainly don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah.
Turn that
I was
off.
about to spit my coffee, bro. Don't ever.
Spit take.
You know, it's so interesting though when those like insecurities come up, right? Because I have them too. Like I'll like see certain angles of myself or see certain positions I'm in. I'm like, ooh, that's like horrific. That is not sexy like porn.
But did you get off?
But well, yeah, but
the
I
other
was just
person.
talking to this girl that I've been fucking, and she was like bringing up some like insecurities or whatever, and it's so funny because like those insecurities I've never noticed because I was trying to explain to her like when I'm like fucking you, like I like am fucking, I'm like thinking of I'm hearing your sounds, seeing your smells, I'm like embracing your energy. I'm not looking at what angle you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I'm not looking at the way, and so it's like and you have to remember that for yourself. Like no one's looking at that.
No, it's
like
not a
you're
photo
looking
shoot.
at that. Maybe you're in your head about the way your tits look when you bend over. Like for me, my tits look like weird when I like hunch over. I don't like the way they look. I really don't.
Nice titties, though.
Well, I like to keep my sports bra on. I'm one of those masks,
Aw.
but like I'm so weird. But
Keep it intact.
because if I see them like swinging around while I'm like dominating someone, I'm like that doesn't match. I don't know. Gender issues, but
Okay.
but like
get that.
yeah. But then if I actually think of the actual circumstance, and I'm like, she's not thinking about that because I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about that. I'm looking at her like embracing all my senses are stimulated.
No,
I'm
of
not
course.
looking
Yeah.
at those little insecurities.
Which is
so I feel like
it's a human thing.
It's good
Yeah.
to like remember
Yeah.
like the only person in your head is you. The other person is
no,
Yeah.
for sure.
you know.
Totally.
I want to bring up about lesbians. How lesbians have an urge to merge.
Isn't
Is-
that an O word reference?
Is that where it came from? Because I
The
haven't
lesbian
seen
urge
it.
to merge.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Me and
haven't seen
Blake
that
merged
word.
today. We're matching.
We did merge and we didn't
Without even
talk
trying.
Look at
about
our,
it.
the way we're
Literally, like everything.
It's such a real
She's
thing.
just
No, but
taller.
like,
the lesbian
Hannah,
urge to merge.
didn't you, y'all,
I love you.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Hannah, didn't you have a
a moment with that?
Moment.
Yes. I do think the lesbian urge to merge is such a real thing. I had an instance where in a previous relationship, I don't think I was doing the merging from a clothing aspect or like wearing the same things, but energetically wise and the way that I spoke and just how I was feeling I was becoming was a little bit like my partner at the time. And I think the reason I was doing that is also because I was figuring out again, like, do I want to be more quote unquote mask or androgynous presenting? How do I personally feel? And I liked some of the things that they, kind of had going on at the time. And it does bring out this whole thing where next thing you know, you're acting like one another and I think personally that when you start doing that quote unquote lesbian urge to merge, your feeling of being sexual with one another, it dies. So for me, that's where I believe the other term comes up of lesbian bed death,
Yeah.
where when you become too much like the other person, that whole intimate side, it just starts going away.
Yeah.
And
Even
you
if it's
become-
not just aesthetic too, I think like even when you start merging your entire lives, right? Like you completely lose separation of self and you just
Yeah.
like are so intertwined that I've heard lesbian couples like laugh the same, like their frequency of their voice changes where
That's
I'm like, oh my God, you guys sound like each other, which is cute. That's actually so sweet and like beautiful. But there's a part of that becomes, I think, like you said, lesbian bed death, where it's like they lose the chemistry because the things that were so cool about each other was like the difference, the
Yeah.
opposite.
and now they're just twins.
And now they're just two roommates that are twins.
Now you're
you know?
stuck being roommates.
Yeah.
I think it also my personal opinion. I feel like when people start to do the merging, is there isn't enough like self-awareness and maturity within
Yeah.
your own mind to understand, like, oh, I'm doing this because now I'm at a point where I know you've said it too. I like the opposite
Yeah.
part that I have with Mads, right? We're so different. And that's what's really sexy. And then you start seeing, wait a minute, when you do something that's complete opposite of me, I am
into
either
it.
turned on by that, if it's physical, mental, whatever it is. I love that about you, but it takes a second to get there. So I think we merge in our earlier relationships
Yeah.
when we're queer.
When you're still figuring
Yeah, you're
out
still
things
figuring-
about
which
yourself.
is so it's
Yeah.
so
'Cause
natural. We
there's
do
this
it.
like common common experience that we all think is unique to us, and then we read lesbian internet and lesbian memes and we're like, oh, this is a common thing. It's so human, it's so normal. You're not being a narcissist, you're not like the mirroring thing or the urge to like you're unsure in yourself of like, do I want to be them or be with them?
Yeah.
It's a real thing, even with men. I mean, like the only men I've ever had a crush on, I didn't realize at the time when I was like in high school that crush, meaning like I say that very lightly, like, but anytime I did find myself thinking I was attracted to a man, it was truly because I wanted to study him and I wanted to understand why he was so cool.
I totally agree.
And I wanted to get his approval because I wanted to be like his buddy.
Yeah.
But we confuse that with crushes, and I think that can happen with women too. You know, you see a woman and you're not sure, do I want to be inside of her or do I want to be like her?
Oh my God, all the time.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a normal thing.
It's so a thing. And yeah, I do feel like people, I mean, give yourself a break if you're going through it. We've all done that.
It's okay.
And it's okay. And like you said, I mean, you guys obviously looking like twins right now, but you also do it with your friends. And I think with your friends,
It's subconscious too,
but I think
it does happen on accident.
with your friends.
Yeah.
With your friends, it's also cute, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I love the way you do this. I kind of want to do a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
Or I love the way you wear your black clothes every day. Maybe someday I'll wear black clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
I'm
boys
cute.
do it all the
Yeah,
time
all the
with each
time.
other.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer, like your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
So maybe it is similar to like the urge to merge.
Yeah.
I haven't had that with a partner. I've never done that with a partner. Maybe because I go for the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
Opposite
had
sex.
Oh, sorry, opposite. Like
Blake's
Thank
straight
you.
now.
I'm straight, guys. You heard it here live.
The opposite.
No, the opposite of what I am. So I'm mass presenting.
welcome.
I'm androgynous. I go for more of the like fucking femme, like ninja femme, and
Ninja
I never-
femme. That's a
Ninja
new
I've
term.
never heard of that.
yeah. So it's
Kenzie's a ninja femme.
like yeah, it's like
What's her name?
What's my name?
Kenzie's in her bedroom at night. She's like, yeah.
You guys
No,
wouldn't
I
even
get
know.
that
I'm so
though.
quiet.
There's a power, there's a weight to that. A ninja
a
femme.
ninja
like, you're
femme.
like
It's
a
kind of
little
like you're not detected. Like
Yeah.
if you're hanging out with like people, no one's gonna detect that you're gay. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're gonna spot me, but they won't spot you.
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, so that's a term. But I've never had that with a partner. But with friends, you are the company you keep. Like it's bound to happen that we like wear the same outfit. Cause
What
like
do you
I hang
copy
it-
me with? Do you copy me?
like no, for,
You like me?
not copy you in a sense, but
No.
like I'm a firm believer in like hanging out with people you want to be like.
Totally.
Well, also
the
it
future,
happens
too.
naturally. I mean,
Yeah. It
like
does.
granted, also like we've spent so long trying to figure out as a queer how to present and how to get that gender euphoria, right? And when you do finally have like a really dope queer circle, you kind of rub off on each other and you teach each other things.
And it's positive. That's
yeah,
the positive
but I mean,
side.
I have seen friends get the lesbian urge to merge too. I've seen that where it's like codependent friendship, and I'm like, y'all literally are doing everything the same. It's like really scary.
Yeah.
When
And
a friend
so
tries to
that's a
do that
little
to you.
weird.
I think
Yeah.
there's another thing within this that brings up what you just said, the codependency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when it
think
goes a little too
when it
far.
goes a little too far, and
Yeah.
that's another thing that what I was just saying with my experience, which I've talked about how different I am in my relationship now and just the growth that it took. But you do get codependent, and once you have that kind of merge, it's almost like you're doing everything together. I mean, I know a lot of couples where
where you don't even see.
you don't see one of them alone.
Yeah.
And there are times where you're thinking, okay, I just want to see one of the friends.
Yeah.
And maybe the other separately have a moment of being with that person individually. And it does take growth and it takes maturity and all
Yes.
of the things. But it happens and
Yeah.
it's very real. And I just think we don't need to become one person, guys. We
No.
Yeah,
can
'cause then
be
you kinda-
ourselves.
I feel like you kind of lose yourself if you do conform to
Totally.
everything in your
100%,
partner. You're
yeah.
like twinning with everything, like you said, laughing like everything,
Yeah.
and then what? God forbid something happens and y'all break up.
Who
you don't
are
even. You literally don't even know who you are
No,
anymore.
you don't have your
No.
own life. You, don't have your own friends.
Well,
No,
and then there's
yeah.
this need, like you said, with the chemistry going away, it's like there is this need to kind of protect that sacred chemistry and keep that alive. And if you start sharing too much of the same things, it's like maybe that's not healthy.
Then you have no differences.
I can't say that it's wrong. I mean, I'm sure there are couples that merge into each other and they live happily ever after, but
For sure.
for me personally, I feel like I would want to maintain that separation.
Yeah.
Well, in a
healthy.
women-loving women community.
Yeah,
rephrase.
we-
In a women-loving women community,
women.
it's already because it's a smaller thing to begin with. So then if you merge, then it's just making it smaller and smaller.
Right.
And it's like, shit.
And then now you have nothing.
Now I really don't know.
Yeah, and then you fall into
Yeah.
depression, and it's like a real fucking thing. I suffered from codependency big time.
For sure.
Oh,
my
so
ex-
That went
dark.
really far.
No, but seriously though, like
Your ex
you
what?
do fall into depression because then you
Yeah.
have nothing. You don't have a sense of like self and who.
Yeah.
Like you didn't know who you were before. Now you definitely don't know who the fuck you
Yeah.
are. Like you allow that to consume you. You know.
I've noticed that come up with really toxic people too, where they don't have a sense of identity of their own. So they
take
look
it.
for someone to cling on to become.
Mm.
And that happened to me. It happened to you.
Yeah.
It's a thing where someone kind of sees you as like, ooh, you are very individualistic and you have all of these things that you like to do and I don't have any of those things, so like let me cling on to you and claim that it's romance and love, but it's actually just like some sort of infatuation and need to like find identity in you.
Yeah.
And that is no way to do a woman loving woman relationship, which it does come up a lot. I mean, I'm sure it comes up with heterosexuals as well,
Yeah.
but it's a very common thing because there's a fine line in sexuality where it's like, do I want to be them or do I want to be with them?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know how to differentiate the two. And granted, I've made the mistake as well. I've thought I was attracted to people that I'm like, oh, I think I just wanted to be just like them. I think I just thought they were super dope.
Yeah.
But coming into terms with that and really listening and meditating on that and like letting the energy explain itself and like sitting with it and dissecting it is really important, because you have to be so self-aware, like what am I attracted to,
Which is
What-
hard.
it's hard to
So
figure
To
out.
ask
It's
yourself
so
those
It's a lot of
hard.
questions.
Yeah.
But also with that, there's a big difference between this is lust and this is love.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's lust,
lust.
and lust is sexy and it's fiery and
Yeah.
it's all the things,
But I see
right?
it.
Toxic.
But remind yourself, is this a project that I like? Is this lust? Is it
Yeah.
You're
love?
also
What is
like
it?
that. That's a nice way to put it.
What do you call him? Not a fix-a-hoe? You're not a
Captain
fix-a-hoe.
Save a
Captain
Ho,
Save a
Fix-a-hoe.
Ho.
Save-a-hoe.
Yeah. Captain Save a
Yeah.
Ho. You're not that.
Yeah, don't be a Captain Save-a-hoe.
Because it can get toxic. Like, and then you take that person's light because you didn't have any. You know what I mean? It's just sad.
Fill your cup and
Yeah.
then pour.
Yeah.
Or just
Don't
don't
be-
pour.
yeah.
Both of you fill your cups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So many metaphors.
Yeah. It's
You got a cup, I got a cup. We all
Everyone's got a
cups.
cup. Make sure you're not putting the straw in someone else's cup.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
sure
and
you
then
fill
you're
your own.
thirsty.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
like going on the
maybe
tangent
it's
of cup of water.
roofied. You don't know.
Yeah.
I want to talk about exes and or it doesn't have to be an ex. Failed date situations.
Yeah, I have
Hannah.
one of those.
Yeah.
Date fills.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Man. Yikes. So, as my true gay self, and as many of us have done, I went on a date with someone. So I'm going to paint you a picture here. We met on a dating app, and I was feeling a little drunk one night, texted them, ended up at a WeHo bar, Rocco's, and went in as the lights come on.
It's always Rocco's.
It's always
I know.
Rocco's.
Scary.
Nothing great happens at Rocco's.
Yeah.
And it was Valentine's Day.
Oh, shit.
Gets
okay.
more,
That's
more
extra gay.
Yeah. And I walk in, and you know when you're intoxicated and the lights come on and it's so scary and sweaty and just, you see your real self.
Yikes. Yeah.
Ew.
We didn't even say hi. We just kissed, boom, boom, boom. One thing leads to another. Spend the night together. The next morning carries over. I ended up spending the entire weekend with this person.
Natural.
a long first date.
Naturally, yeah, as lesbians do. And we're out the next day having a good time, and I somehow find myself in a very troubled threesome in a random bathroom.
Oh.
And
What
again,
was so
wasn't
troubled?
I just want to
expecting
know
that.
how the hell that happened in a bathroom.
because it shouldn't have happened. And I then find out that they're dating someone that's there.
Whoa.
There are just so many
Secrets.
big red flags. And picture all
You
these
zoom
red
through it.
lights that are on. And instead of wanting to turn off the lights, I just wanted a massive electricity bill. And I was like, this is an awesome date. No, Hannah.
What was
Go
troublesome
home.
about the threesome? Was the third like
You're
somebody?
really stuck on this.
I am.
She wants
I'm stuck in
details.
the
because we've
bathroom
shared
scene.
so many lovely threesomes
Yeah.
together.
But when you're in a place where you just meet the person and then you don't know you're really heading into a threesome, and the next thing you know,
It's like, surprise.
it's happening.
And yeah,
And
did
it's
they
just-
initiate it or did?
I don't
You don't
really even
remember?
remember. What I do know is that there were just a lot of added things that really should have been a quick light bulb in my own head.
Little red
Like,
flag, real fucking
get
quick.
home, drink some water, get home.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Ooh,
still,
that would have saved me
I
a marriage.
stayed another.
Yeah.
I stayed another night. So now we have 3 days,
Yeah.
and I ended that evening
Oh my God.
just really sick in the bathroom.
Oh.
I had to call a friend, and I was like, you need to
Rescue
get me home, lock me in the house, and no more dates.
You
No
were
more
sick? You got
dates.
No
sick?
more Rocco dates, bro.
Yeah, so the date was so failed, and I ended up dating them for a year and a half.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that's not how I thought
You
it was
kept
gonna
the
end at
lights
all.
on that long?
I just was like, let's.
You zoomed through the red flags. You didn't even look.
loved that electric
That is a
bill.
failed date, but
Yeah.
it kind of worked out. I
Leave
guess.
it to the lesbians to have like the
Failed
worst
date.
date ever and
That was
then
a
date
failed-
for a year and a half anyways. Yeah.
It's because you're like, this toxicity is so fun. Let's keep it going. Let's
Ew,
It's
run
not
for
fun.
sure.
That
I
gives me
remember
fucking
that.
anxiety.
Let's
I don't
run
know why
off
the
into the
toxicity's fun.
sunset, and
The
instead of the
chaos, yeah.
sunset, you're running into the pits of hell.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
Yeah.
that's scary.
But I had a great time.
Good sex down in the pits of hell sometimes.
Great
Not
time.
troublesome threesomes. Well, there could be there, but
Yeah.
there could
Blake,
be.
what's your crazy failed date story?
Oh, since it's about dear men. So this was back when I was forcing myself to like men because I had forced myself to be straight for a second there because I didn't want this life. But it was hard. It was hard. But I went on a date with this guy. I was like, matter of fact, what the hell was he doing with a girl my age? But anyway, I was 16. He was 18 or 19. Yeah, he took me on
Not
a
necessarily
movie date.
legal.
Yeah, but whatever.
That's okay.
Like,
It was
still,
19.
yeah, it was high school. Whatever. Fuck it.
Anyway,
Nothing happened, guys. I'm still gold star, so we're good. Story's good. We went on to this movie date at the movies, whatever. And you know, okay, it was summertime, so like flip flops and shit, or you know, whatever. So you know how like you prop your fucking like feet up because you just want to get comfortable
on the chairs
on the chair
in the movie theater.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked your.
yeah. No, I did it in a cute way.
Thanks for
I did it in a cute way. I went
just he's like, I think she's a little
Fuckers.
fruity.
No, I went like this. I was like cute, and I was like cute girly pop, whatever. Okay, so I put my feet up. I have bunions, but they're not severely
They're
bad.
not.
You like my toes,
I like your
right, babe?
toes.
Okay.
the
So
bunions.
yeah, it's like a bunion, whatever. I guess it wasn't his thing. Okay.
What, he looked at him?
He looked at it. He glanced at it. I just had a fucking
have
like,
flip-flops on?
pedicure. Yeah, I had pedicure too, because those days I would get pedicures and manicures. My toes were cute. Like whatever. I prop him up. He looks at my toes, bro. I kid you not. He looks at me. He goes, "Oh," and walks right out. Like
He stands up and leaves.
there. I swear on like my uncle's grave, like. He walks up and he fucking leaves. Like there was no more Daniel.
like-
He said,
He's just like,
He's
I can't
like,
with the
no, no,
bunions.
no.
No,
I don't
it wasn't his
even-
thing. Maybe he was a foot guy. You know what I'm saying? And like it wasn't his thing.
Can you show
That
me your
makes it
bunions?
worse,
I
but-
want to see your
Not now.
bunions.
Not now.
Not now.
He's like,
Another
I don't
time.
even care. I don't care how good this movie is. That bunion's
That
too
bunion
big.
right there, yeah. I finished the movie. You know what? Those days, like you have your friends like on deck, like whatever. My friend was like there, so she came down from the top floor.
Friends
whatever.
on deck?
Yeah, like you would go to like movie dates with like friends.
What
They were like
reality
tiny-
is
yeah,
this?
Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't alone, but yeah, it did scar me. Like I'm still
Aw.
insecure about my toes to this
Aw.
day. That's
Yeah.
what you men did to me. Okay,
Yeah.
you brought insecurity.
That's
You know
the
what,
reason why
though?
she doesn't
And
want
meanwhile, a lesbian, a real lesbian, a sapphic, fucking
Yeah.
passionate lesbian would look at those bunions and be like, put them in my mouth.
No,
Yeah.
that's
They'd
Yeah.
look
what
at
she
those
did.
bunions and be like, I'm
You.
gonna
Kinsey.
write a story about
Yeah.
that toe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
dude.
Pose
I'm gonna
write a
about that
poem.
foot
like
that
you
I
thought
saw
I had control
with
over
the
this
cinema
shit?
lighting and the
Yeah.
popcorn smell in the air.
Have
Yeah.
you had a
That's
failed
hot.
date?
I believe so. I haven't. I can't recall. I've had a lot of. Well, I was in love with my best friend in high school, and since then I've admitted it to myself and her. But we did a lot of failed dates because how I would get her attention would be through being like, "Oh, I'm so down to go on that double date." Like I could be near her by doing whatever with men that she wanted to do, and we were hooking up and making out and all those fun things too. But we didn't call it anything. You know, it was one of those.
That's cool.
So yeah, so she would always be like, let's go on a date with these guys, or let's meet up with these guys in the park in the middle of the night.
Oh.
And there were just so many failed dates because every time I was only there to be near and close to her. And then I would go,
That's kind of cute.
I would go cry and then just want her attention. And we ended up having like, this was high school too. We were so young, but we would have like quote unquote foursomes, no sex, no penetration. But we're like, she would be kissing a guy and then I would kiss a guy. And then I would look over and be like, kiss now? Like, are we gonna kiss now? Because we had a code word and we would like always kiss.
Orange.
And then it was peanut.
You took one for the team, basically.
Yeah, but then we would end up on top of each other and completely ignoring the guys, and I would be like,
You're like,
yes,
this is what I want.
So worth everything that I just, So lots of failed dates
I'm
there.
just picturing Alyssa in a cornfield with like 5 men.
Literally,
one
that's how I
woman.
grew up in cornfields. Yeah, it was that type of shit. Like, she'd be like, hey, I'm picking you up. Like, we're gonna go with like these 2 football players to this field, and I'd be like getting ready to see her, and then the men would be like confused,
Alyssa's like, I'll put on football gear too.
Yeah. I was really
right now.
anything to be near her. Aw,
That's cute.
my first love. Yeah, lots of failed dates.
Little failed date
Yeah.
moment.
And then lots of failed dates since, and lots of failed, not really much of a dater these days, but lots of failed sexual experiences.
Wait, you just
as
skip
well.
the dating part and go.
Yeah.
Failed threesomes as well. Failed,
Never had
Such
one.
a
failed
life.
orgies. We've had a
Failed.
failed orgy. A big a failed. That was a failure.
You want to bring it up?
And
No,
by
I'm good.
we, she
Okay,
means
I'm set.
her and Hannah.
We can
we don't need to disclose
we can
that.
continue.
Set on that one.
I like this topic of exes though. Scary ex stories. Yeah, Alyssa, I want a scary ex story.
I know. I'm like
1, 2,
scary ex
70,
story.
80.
Without diving too much in, because I feel like I just don't even want to give it that energy. But I met a girl out at Rocco's. What do you know?
Again.
And we hit it off, and we became friends. And then within 2 weeks, we were drunk for 2 weeks, and then we were married. We ended up at a wedding
Wow.
chapel.
Did you get
That
married
was
at
pretty
Rocco's?
scary.
The
No, we didn't get
drive-thru
married
one?
at Rocco's.
You
We
get
went
married
to
at the
like
chapel.
Guadalupe Wedding Chapel in downtown LA. I've talked about this before, but
Wedding Chapel.
yeah. Hannah, you knew me. One day you ran into me in WeHo, and I was like, I think I'm married, and I'm like signaling for
think
help
you're
with
married?
my eye. She's like,
Alyssa,
you're married
blink
to
3 times if
her?
you're scared.
Like, of all people to marry, like, I really, really found a great one.
I think I
That's-
cried.
Yeah, you did so
I
good.
did. I
Hannah,
cried.
when I told Hannah, because I knew you knew what was up. You knew she was doing weird shit to me and like leeching on, and I was just I was dealing with some like substance abuse issues, and I was just down. I had nothing to
get it.
lose,
And she, like,
whatever.
Leached on.
Yeah, and it was like one of those things where Hannah's looking at me like, there is no fucking way.
what are you
this
doing,
is like,
buddy?
and I'm literally signaling to her as I was like, she goes, I heard you're married. I'm like, yeah. And she's pretending to cry tears of joy, and
it's
so am
real
I. And we're
sadness.
both looking at each other like, oh no. Like, I mean, Hannah was
Yeah.
like totally like, this is not good.
I told the other person that it was tears of joy, and I'm looking at Alyssa like,
No.
say something. Do you need help?
Blink
Like,
3
code
times.
word,
That's what I'm saying.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Say
I
peanut.
Say peanut.
It was just something I needed to
From now
write
on, I'm
out.
gonna look
Yeah.
at you and be like, say peanut if
Yeah.
you're scared, bro. I'll
Yeah.
take you out
For
of the
sure.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on that part of myself. No ending up in things just because someone told you that you need to end up in it. Like, I found myself in a lot of relationships that I didn't want to be in just because someone told me I was supposed to be in it. Like, the person that was
Or
interested.
because it seems fun, right?
Or because it was like I was down and I was drunk or whatever, but it was like I'm trying to be more meaningful.
Yeah.
And like
Look, yeah.
have,
I mean, it's about getting into things
I like
for the
that.
right
Yeah.
reasons. Obviously,
I'm trying.
everyone has their own issues. I mean, personally, we have issues. People that we end up with have some things. Everyone
has
dealing
their
with
shit,
stuff,
yeah.
but like get into things for the right reason.
Well, and
Yeah.
like this year, the theme of my life, I know I seem like insane because I've hopped around a bit, but I have truly, when I meet someone and I sense that maybe something is not right or that there's a red flag, I'm very like in this cut off mode. And that's not to be selfish. It's not to hurt people. It's truly just like, I don't have time to waste anymore because I've been through so many weird things with, especially with that traumatizing ex situation, that I'm just like, now, if you show me something that is not going to work long term, I'm cutting it off there, right
Setting
then
your
and there.
boundaries, man.
It is selfishness, but it's positive selfishness.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of
Absolutely.
people,
That's
and a lot of people need to-
unapologetic
a lot of people need to
selfishness.
be selfish, especially in that category. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and I'm sure on the other end of it that sucks too because it's like I'm not really willing to work through much right now, but I am in that era.
But also, you don't have to apologize
Right.
for that.
You know what you want, and you're gonna get what you
Yeah.
want. That's it.
Yeah.
But scary exes will do that to you.
It's
You'll,
scary.
because I used to be so carefree, you know? Like, I used to be so, I'm sure you guys too, like, I would just be like, whatever, what's the worst that can happen?
Now you're
Like,
careful.
I'm just down, and I'm really, really careful because of that situation, because now I'm just like, oh, no, we don't do careless things anymore. We need
Yeah.
to be intentional.
I love intentions.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
Blakey, do you have a crazy ex chronicles?
Yes, I do. I have a lot, but
Just pick one.
the one, I had to fake a restraining order, so she leaves me the
How
fuck
do you
alone.
fake a restraining order?
So, Mr. Dr. Google, I typed in like restraining orders. I got a photo of it,
template.
and then I went in and I created my own. I did the whole shit.
Blake's on Canva,
Shebang.
like
Whole shebang.
restraining order.
it was
No, but
before
may I ask you,
Canva.
why didn't you just get a real one?
Okay, so reason why is because those days I wasn't out. So remember, okay, so I'm 29 right now.
Makes sense.
When I came out when I was 23, I had dated that person before 23.
Got it.
And I was scared if there was anything like if you typed in my name, you would find a court. I don't fucking know. I was really
that makes
scared.
that makes complete
Yeah.
sense. You don't
Yeah, and I
want to
didn't
take
want
that to
my
the
mom
law.
or like
Yeah.
anybody to like find out. So I was like, fuck, like I don't know what to do. I'm in a really sticky situation. She was really crazy. She would show up to my house. So I was like, you know what? I can't do this. Especially like it's been over a year. I'm trying to move on. Like I can't do that. And like now my life's at low key kind of risk. So I forged that whole thing and I sent it to her. Never heard back from her in my entire
Honestly?
Oh my gosh, she
fucking
believed
life.
it.
That's really smart,
amazing.
actually.
Yeah, I didn't want to put her through it. I didn't want her to have a record. I also wanted to be nice and like respect that because I know everyone goes through that crazy stage, I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ruin her life, but also like I didn't want my life ruined.
For
So I had
sure.
to figure out what to do, and
my
it was like
God.
middle of the night, and I'm like,
What
okay,
if
I
she
gotta
sees
do
this
this.
episode and she's like, I know that it's fake. I'm coming after you now.
Oh, come after me now. I'm like in my truth
No,
right now,
yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
run
weird.
it.
Standing tall
Yeah,
now,
I'm
bitch.
But
standing
if
tall.
anyone,
I will have that
if
real one
anyone
now.
wants to dial the hotline 1-800-BLAKE,
Yeah, call me. I
she
got you.
can make you fake
I'll
restraining
serve the
orders.
fucking papers to them. Don't even worry. Like I got you.
Sometimes you just need to do a little scare tactic.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Like I believe in that. You know, like
It works.
I'm not gonna fully
Obviously.
ruin your life, but like I'm gonna scare you with ruining your life. You know,
Why do I have so many ex
it's
chronicle
a lot
weird ex stories?
because we're lesbians.
because we're lesbians.
yeah, literally. Whenever
So
you're
I
ready.
know, Hannah, you have a little ex chronicles you want to share?
I do. I have so many interesting ex stories, which I think says a lot about my growth, right? Like I
Same.
Yes,
same.
went through it.
No judgment here.
So
For real.
to give our audience some backstory, I know I mentioned that I played hockey my whole life, so I ended up going to boarding school. In boarding school, I met my first girlfriend. I knew I was
Hot.
gay.
Oh my
so
God.
fucking
That's so
hot.
Oh my
sexy.
God.
I met my first girlfriend. I knew I was gay quite young. I was a freshman and she was a junior. Anyway, we started dating. We dated all through high school on and off. And we were very, very, very toxic. But first love, I feel like first loves have to be toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. We were young, all the things. So when I was at boarding school, you basically live in what is a college dorm, right? So it's one dorm room, then another. And it's just a bunch of floors of college dorm rooms, pretty much. But you're from the ages of 14 to 18. So we were going through a phase where we had broken up, and a lot of the girls that lived on the same floor with me were also on my hockey team. And we're broken up. I'm so heartbroken. I'm really wanting to get back together. I'm
Poor
texting her
baby
all the
Hannah.
time. I'm just absolutely devastated. And you know, energetically, when you feel
hurts.
something, no, but you are just like feeling this weird energy
yeah.
shift. So one day I get back to my dorm and I feel this energy shift. And I'm like, what is going on? And I hear this voice in the dorm room next to me. And I'm thinking, why does that sound like my ex-girlfriend? I go to that room. We had not talked in just a few months. I go to that room. She is fucking my friend next door to me.
Boy or girl?
That girl.
Oh,
that
shit.
that was on my hockey team and lived in the exact room next to me.
Oh, poor baby.
She didn't tell me. I haven't seen. It is as if a train hit me.
Oh my
Totally.
God.
I was like, how do you do this to someone? I was so
I
sad.
literally am tearing
I
up.
was-
I was yeah.
That
I
is
was like,
horrible.
Yeah.
I was
That's so sad.
16. I couldn't believe
Oh
it.
man.
I called my mom. I was asking my mom. I'm like, can you please come to school and just help me? I couldn't go to hockey practice. I was so devastated.
Oh my God.
We did end up dating again.
You took her back?
I did take her back.
Young love, the sting of young love.
And I
why I
remember
asked if it was a boy or a
also,
girl.
this is how messy it gets when you're young, right? And especially queer. The person that she ended up dating, who was the roommate or the person that lived next door to me, I, of course, was like, I have to sleep with them now.
Uh-huh.
So I had to sleep with them.
I fucking love
obviously.
you.
Yes,
And then
naturally.
I got back together with her. But I was so upset. I was
Yeah,
so mad.
That happened to me too, but it was a boy,
was a
that I
boy,
walked
so-
in on.
You what?
I walked in on my first love, like you. I was 16. She was fucking her neighbor that was supposed to be her best friend. Yeah.
God,
Literally
guys.
walked in.
Yeah, literally walked
Guys.
in. That was crazy.
What were you going to say?
You're like,
no
I'm
words,
baffled
just
right
like
now.
yeah. I mean,
It
the
sucks.
ex-wife of mine told me there was in the beginning when I was still getting to know her because we married each other after 2 weeks. There was like this period of time where I was already kind of being like, oh my God, this was a really bad idea. But I was still trying to like be there for her as a friend too, because we were at this point we're like intertwined, living together. We're legally married, you know.
Like, fuck it, I gotta make it work.
And there were these nights where I would just be like, you need to go and like experience life. Like, because she had never gone to bars alone, I guess. Like, she's always kind of stayed inside and smoked or whatever. And I'm like, go be free. So I told her, go be free. I didn't mean what happened. And there were like moments where I would be like, something's not adding up about that night, but I didn't know her enough, or I didn't have the history to like care too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still getting to know each other. So I'm kind of just like feeling her out and getting to know her.
Married, but getting to know each
Yeah,
other.
truly, because we got married after 2 weeks. And all this sketchy shit, these stories weren't adding up. Oh, I'm here. Now I'm here. I did this. What'd you do last night? How was it? You look really hungover. Oh, no, I'm not hungover. I didn't do anything. Well, you look like you got railed. No, I didn't get railed. Okay.
What happened?
Fast forward like months down the line, it all comes out that she was like fucking dudes that entire time, which is really gross. I ended up like having to go get tested and stuff because I was like,
Yeah, what
you
the
were
fuck?
fucking dudes and then coming home to me?
told you to go
Like,
make friends
scared
at a
me.
bar.
Now,
Like,
don't be
fuck, I know
Ronnie,
I don't
okay?
know you very well yet, but like, could you please just like fill me in? And also, she doesn't really present in a way that like would make sense that she would go be
Do that.
fucking
Guys.
dudes, like, but she sure was, and there were names and multiple of them. And I remember one time I called her and I was like, "You're at a bowling alley with just one man? Like, who is the man? Like, where did you get the man? Where did you find him?
Did you find him
And
on the
she'd be
street?
like, "Oh, I met him at the bar." And I'm like, "Well, when I said go be free and go experience
said-
bars, I didn't mean go
She said,
and fuck
okay.
the guys
Thoughts,
that
though.
you meet there." Like, it was just crazy, and I'm traumatized from that because even people that you think would not fuck men,
They'll do it.
or like go cheat on you or whatever with whoever. I was like baffled, but
Oh
it
my
was
God.
kind of. And then it was funny. This is just a side note, but we got into a fight about it, and this was months down the line when I'm already emotionally checked out, and I was like, "So like you fucked all those dudes?" And I was laughing because I laugh in awkward situations.
most of
And
us
then she
do.
got mad at me for not being mad and for laughing. And I'm like, would you like me to yell and scream?
Yeah.
Like, I'm laughing because it's just like I'm
Uncomfortable,
baffled.
yeah.
Like, I'm like,
It's
you really
mind
did
blowing.
that
Find the
all
fucking
those
words
nights?
right now.
That
What the
bowling alley
fuck?
day, you were getting railed by this man? Like,
Oh, she was getting
At the
alleyed,
bowling
alright.
alley.
And that's the X Chronicles.
I'm dead.
That's crazy.
Wait, I have a crazy X Chronicles.
yeah, tell us.
Okay. So when I was dating my partner at the time, I was told, "Oh, just hang out in the living room upstairs."
love this story.
Me too.
I didn't like it at the time.
I know. But it's fun now.
I was told to wait upstairs. You know, she was gonna go down to 7-Eleven. It was right downstairs under her apartment, and she was like, I'm gonna go grab water really quick." 3 hours later, she didn't even come up with water. She came up with Percocets.
Did you have a
That's
perk?
some shit my ex would do.
Fill the water to get Percocets.
You're like, water, huh? Where would you go to get the water?
No,
Like,
and I like
water?
I
Not
kept
Percocet.
looking at her location. It was at 7-Eleven, and I'm like, "What are you doing for hours at a time?" And I'm naive at this point. Like, I
Right.
didn't think anything of it. Yeah, and then she came up with no water, and I was like, "What
Did
were
you
you
drink the
doing?"
water?
My ass would have been at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, see.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just like the trust at the time. I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
there, and it fucking wasn't.
It was
Yeah.
with the perks.
Moral to the story: when you see someone being insane, like let's say you say your partner is like coming to you at the 7-Eleven, like, "Hey, I'm just checking in." there's a reason. They probably have a history of being lied to. Like, we don't start
For
out that way.
sure.
I started out so naive and so wide-eyed and so like, oh, like they wouldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Oh my God.
Now I question every
Granted,
fucking thing.
if the thought is there, they probably would. And I'm sorry not to be like cold and jaded, but like, yeah, I have no trust.
No, I think
Not anymore.
Listen to your gut. That shit doesn't
end up,
lie.
You end up getting it back, right? But
I hope.
very much is if the person. Let me rephrase. If someone is showing you signs off the bat, trust it.
Yes.
It's usually
Sure.
right. And if you have a gut feeling, if something hurts in your stomach, believe it.
Here, I got one.
Yeah.
Don't fall in love with potential.
For sure.
That's it.
I like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever you think that this person can be, that's not what they are right now.
And the quote too, like the issues that you have in the beginning will be the reasons you leave in the end. Like, listen to that.
Oof.
Granted, no one's perfect. Everyone comes with their shit. And it's like, well, which person's shit can I have with me? Like, we're all going to have our demons and our things that we're working through. But like, your values from the start should align, and the foundation should be being built. If there's already trust things or weird, sketchy moments in the beginning, I mean, maybe trust it.
That's why we learn from these lovely X Chronicles.
Yeah.
And lust isn't love.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you
feel
went through
like
that,
the
honey.
next time I fall in love, I'm going to be batshit crazy because I have so much crazy shit that has happened to me that I'm going to be a psycho. Like when she tells me she's going to 7-Eleven, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm coming with you. Because you might end up getting railed
I'll
at the
go
bowling
for
alley,
you.
or you might end up bringing up perks. Like,
Yeah.
so we're just I'm going to come with you. I'll buy the waters, but I'm going to watch you.
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
I
watch
can't
you.
be, I got to go to
okay.
therapy.
It's okay.
It's okay, buddy. No, yeah.
I wasn't made this way.
Everybody should go to
Well, I
therapy.
was.
I believe in therapy.
You
I
know?
was against it for a
Absolutely.
very long time, and now I'm like weekly meetings, man. It's really
Yeah.
great.
I've sworn off love for the time being, I think.
Don't be too closed off of it.
No,
just like don't look for it, but if like
Let
if
it find you, mate.
Yeah.
men, if you're listening, I'm ready to be changed.
Oh,
I'm
God.
just kidding.
And on that note,
Men, if you're listening,
That was a
stop
joke.
listening.
It was a joke because that's what you like to say to me all the time.
All right.
It's like, you just need the right dick. No,
No, mate.
No.
Not that one.
I've got a dick at home
And
Not
with
the one
that-
that's attached.
and I wear it better
all right,
than
and
you.
I'm wrapping this up now. So thank you for coming to this episode. We would love to hear your X Chronicles.
Yeah.
Please send us your scary stories, weird stories, toxic stories. We like it all.
Yeah, cute stories.
Yeah.
And cute stories.
We do. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.